Hi, it's Maggie here. Let's see if it's working. So, over the last few weeks, I had several women ask me, so Maggie, why are we so influenced by the moon and her cycles? So, I decided to do a very basic moon phase, moon basics video for you. So, yeah, let's get into it right away. So the moon is the closest celestial body to the Earth, right? The moon pulls on the Earth, and while the Earth pulls on the moon as well. So it creates a really beautiful dance which keeps us tilted on our axis, right? And that creates, this creates and keeps the seasons in balance as well. So the moon controls the tides and all water on the planet, right? Along with the water and fluid in our bodies, as our bodies are made up of 75% water. So this is why women can be very aligned with the moon cycles following the 28, 30-day cycle. That is exactly as long as the moon cycle, 29 and a half days. So you can see how when the moon pulls on and controls the ebb and flow of the water, all our blood, our water and the fluids in our bodies are so pulled by that as well, right? Since our bodies are 75% liquids, water. And that also explains then why we have sometimes our menstrual cycles are so linked to the moon cycles as well, as that same like pulsing almost. So our ancient ancestors relied on the light of the moon and her power really more heavily than we do now. The moon's light controls animals' migrating patterns. So it's important for hunting, but also plants' abilities to hold on to water, which is good to know for planting crops, right? Something that we as well do on our farm where I live. And of course, back in the day, it was a beautiful source of light. So in our bodies, in our beautiful vessels, the moon is very much linked to our womb. So our pelvic bowl, right? Our sacral chakra. Our root chakra at the base of our spines, that is directly connected to the soil of the earth, right? You can literally visualize a grounding cord going from your roots all the way down into the soil of the earth, absorbs water from the soil and nutrients, right? But then we need to have a vessel to hold these nourishing sacred waters, right? And that is our womb, our sacral chakra gives us that cauldron. So just like the moon controlling the water, she controls our ever-changing, evolving, ebbing and flowing womb, right? This is our inner depth, our inner landscape of emotions and creativity and dreams and sensuality and intuition. So again, those are very, that's the very feminine essence, and the moon reflects that femininity as well. So I'm going to share a very basic moon cycle with you to end, and so you will understand the phases of the moon. So remember, this happens 13 times a year. So we have 13 moon phases in a year. It's not always exact, aligned, but that is where the magic number 13 comes from, because there's 13 moon phases in a year. And so the moon cycles and the months, they don't line up as well. 12 months and 13 moon cycles, right? So the moon cycles are a little bit shorter than a month. So the moon cycle typically starts with the new moon, right? But the new moon is basically the dark moon still. There's no moon visible for us at all. There's complete darkness in that moon phase. And that is because the moon is closest to the sun, right? They rise there, so it's invisible for us. The sun isn't reflecting her light onto the moon. So the dark moon is a really beautiful time to go within and withdraw and appreciate that sacred darkness of the moon phase, because just like our womb spaces, that the beautiful darkness within our bodies, that is where everything is created from. That is where everything is sprouting from. That's where the sacred seeds are planted. Then we're moving to the new moon, right? The new beginnings. Those seeds are being planted. And the new moon is the official start of the moon cycle, but there's still no moon visible. But then we're going to have this really tiny sliver of the moon, and it's starting to grow bigger. And that is our waxing moon phase. So the moon is increasing in size, and this may be linked to, you may have more energy as well, you know, more an increase as well, just like the moon. And this is generally a really good time to take action, take inspired action on maybe some seeds that you had planted up the new moon. So the moon then is waxing, and until fullness. Then we have the full moon. So the full moon is created because the moon is directly opposite of the sun. Right? So it illuminates, the sun illuminates the fullness of the moon. So the moon rises as the sun sets, and the moon sets as the sun rises, right? That's why we sometimes have these beautiful super moons, or, you know, sometimes the blood moon, you can see that hue of the sun that way as well. Now, I'm not an expert on this, and I'm probably saying something's wrong. But the full moon is this beautiful time of illumination and amplification, right? Everything is amplified. Everything is illuminated and shown with the sun's light reflected on the moon. So this is a really, for me, I love the full moon for that amplification. How can I focus that sometimes overwhelming emotional energy that we may experience during the full moon towards what I want to amplify? How can I focus that strong energy and my heightened intuition to what I want, what I desire, what I eventually want to release when the moon starts to wane? I invite you to not be overwhelmed by the full moon, by the full moon's energy, but instead focus that energy onto something. Use it to your advantage. And then the moon starts to wane again, so it's decreasing in light. The waning moon is a really beautiful time as we are decreasing to go within and to reflect and to rest, to release, clean up the house, declutter. It is a beautiful time to create that space so the universe has a chance and space to help us to co-create with us, to give us, you know, what we wanted, what we set intentions around at the new moon. And then we're back at the dark moon again, and the cycle starts again. So I hope this gave you some insight into why we are so in tune with the moon and why it feels natural, you know, why it feels natural for us to tune into it. And if you are completely new to tracking the moon phases, don't worry. Once you start to become more aware, it does really become second nature after a while, because it really did for me. The one tip that I'll share with you on how to start tracking the moon cycles for yourself is simply downloading a moon phase app. I like Deluxe Moon app. And this is how I got started. And, you know, I checked the moon phases daily, and I noticed how I felt. I just noticed how the different moon phases made me feel. You can also write this down. You can meditate daily. See what works best for you, and start playing with that. The goal eventually is to find your own inner moon cycles within you. They may not always line up with the external moon, but we are then using the moon cycles as an external template to our inner being. And yeah, to get started with that, start tracking the moon. And it really, I want you to remember that it always starts with awareness, right? It always starts with awareness, simply being aware. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you are watching this outside of the Moon Goddess Facebook group, I would love to welcome you in. It's very much treated as a women's circle. So I'll leave the link below. And I also just released a really beautiful Moon Goddess bundle on my website that I'll leave I'll leave the link below for you as well. It has some videos on the moon cycles and lots of ritual ideas and worksheets. So if you're really interested in flowing with the moon cycles and just looking for some inspiration on how to get started or to enhance your current spiritual practice and rituals, I would really recommend taking a look at that. So I'm going to leave you with that. So much love, many, many blessings, and we'll talk soon. Bye.